Well, Coach, the Broncos have played about one game in about 6 weeks, and it was a good one, a 5-2 win over Bowling Green. Didn't look like much rust at all as they scored 4 in the first. Just talk about the Bowling Green game.
Well, I think the commitment on the part of our players in the days leading up to the Bowling Green game on the 28th of December, we came in and had some solid practices. Our focus was great every day, and we got this mindset around here of getting better every day, and our guys did. And I thought we got off to a great start, obviously getting up 4-0 on a very good Bowling Green team that went into Detroit and won the GLI tournament about 3 days later. So great game to come through. We've had a couple of weeks now to prepare for our St. Cloud series. All of last week was very tough. We pushed our guys. We worked on some tactical things, worked on their skill development, are excited about playing the number one team in the country. And they're number one because they're good in every position. They've got a high save percentage on the part of their goalies. Their defense can move the puck, and we're getting point production. And they've got 4 forward lines. It's tough for us to look at matchup scenarios because it looks like they've got 4 number one lines. So, Coach Motzko does a tremendous job. Assistants took over while he was away at the World Junior. Just a great challenge for our young team.
With the big break there, how's the health of the team?
How's the health of our team? We'll dress the number of players that we need to play the game 20. We've got some guys who will be missing, certainly, and we've had some illness around our team right now, and that's something we've had to deal with. But, we're excited about the group of guys that will get a chance to play this weekend.
How do you adjust to playing on the big surface when you play pretty much all your other games and practice every day on an NHL-size rink?
Well, we practice and play all of our other games on an NHL-size rink, so certainly some people would say that's a huge advantage for St. Cloud that they practice there and they play in the big rink, but then they've got to come and play in our smaller ice surface as well. I think the bottom line, and through my experience in International Hockey Coaching Team Canada in international tournaments, I think quite often teams and players tend to change their game thinking, I've got to do something different on the bigger ice. And bottom line is the distance between the dots is the same in our rink as it is in St. Cloud. It's the distance outside the dots that is the difference. And you're not going to score from the outside position on the dots. So our key thing defensively is to make sure that we protect between the dots just as we would in our building. On the other side of it, you think you got lots of time and lots of room if you're playing on the outside offensively with the puck, but you got to eventually get it in between the dots. You got to get it to the net. So, our principles will be the same thing. We'll play the game we normally play. We'll be conscious about our mobility and our support positions in all 3 zones. But I think the bottom line is to make sure that you don't overemphasize it. And we haven't been talking very much about it at all. We expect to play well on the big ice.
Andy, St. Cloud is loaded with offensive talent. The Broncos have a good share of talent, too, on their side, starting with Wade Allison, who's having a heck of a sophomore season. He's been dominant in the last couple of games against Miami in the overtime win, scoring the hat trick, and had an unbelievable end-to-end goal against Bowling Green.
Yeah, no, Wade is obviously an elite player. He's a great addition to our team, not only from the hockey perspective, but just the energy he provides. And every time he gets the puck, he's the kind of player that gets the other players to stand on their feet and pay attention because he can make some positive things happen. But if we look at it overall, our team, I think there's a lot of people question whether we'd be able to score it all this year with all the guys that we lost early to the National Hockey League and some of our graduating seniors who were elite players. But I give our whole crew a lot of credit, and certainly, when you look at Colt Conrad, the way that he's playing, you look at Hugh McGing, the way that he's playing. Dawson DiPietro is a success story himself. Our defensemen, have been stepping up. Corey Schoeneman, and Cam Lees. All of our guys. I don't like to isolate on individual players. And, we need to be a little better defensively, and we're aware of that. And obviously, we're going to be tested on that this weekend. We're going against the number 1 offense in college hockey and the number 1 ranked team. So if there's an opportune time to step up and be good defensively, this would be the weekend. And good defense is having the puck. So we need to possess the puck, and we've got it. We've got to make them work hard to get it back from us, and when they get it, we've got to steal it back right away. So it's going to be an in-your-face, smart, disciplined style of game. You cannot take penalties against St. Cloud right now. I think they're about 25.3 or 25.4 in the power play. So they're going to score one out of every 4, and we got to make sure we're not taking unnecessary penalties.
Hugh McGing was in the U.S. World Junior Camp and then came back to the Broncos and played in the Bowling Green game and scored 2 minutes into the game on the power play. He looked like he was ready to go.
Yeah, what a great experience for Hugh and Coach Moscow and USA Hockey. We appreciate them giving him the opportunity to play. Got to play in a couple of preseason games, obviously from a totally biased perspective. I think he should have been on the team, but I understand there were a lot of quality players there. But Hugh McGing is a better hockey player for the experience, and we appreciate that, the fact that he got that opportunity. And, he's come back and didn't miss a beat, as you mentioned, in that Bowling Green. He wasn't feeling down or feeling sorry for himself. He felt also that it was a privilege to put that USA jersey on. Here's me, a Canadian, talking about the USA jersey, but he was pretty proud of that. And, again, we're appreciative of the fact that he got that chance, and he's a better player because of it.
You've been looking for some consistency out of your goaltending, and Ben Blacker had one of his best games of the year against Bowling Green in your last game.
No question. I mean, if we look at our goaltending and our save percentage and our goals against number is not where we would like to have it, and it's not where any one of our goaltenders would like to have it either. And obviously that's a shared proposition between defense, forwards, and our goaltenders. But ultimately, they are playing that individual sport back there, and we need them to put up some solid numbers for us. And, as we know, Ben has won a lot of games for us this year, did in his first year as well. I think he's changed a few of his practice habits, and I think it helped him. And he's been a much better goaltender in practice of late and went into Bowling Green and played outstanding. Unfortunate that we had to give up a goal with 34 seconds left. Would really hurt his save percentage for the night. But Ben's fine, and then he's surrounded by 3 other guys in Trevor Gorsuch and Will Massey and Austin Kane. That the group of them just works really hard and they get along together. And Coach Askey does a great job with them.
And in that Bowling Green game, you had 6 freshman forwards in the lineup. They all played well, and Austin Rushaw continues to play well. He's one of your top goal scorers right now.
Austin is a very talented player, 6'7", skates well for a big guy. I don't know if he's scratched the surface as to the type of player he really can be. I mean, he's got skill. He's a big body guy. And, to help us to the full extent and to move on and have a professional hockey career, he's going to have to play with heart skill. He's just got to be harder on pucks, and because his shot, his skating, his hockey sense are elite, and we're excited about his development. We're playing him in the center ice position, and he's a real load to deal with. We had a recruit in the other day that played against him in junior last year and just said he hated playing against Dubuque all the time because he had to play against that Rushkov and he had to try and shut him down.
All right, you're playing a St. Cloud team that's coming off a split with Minnesota. What kind of series do you look for, Andy?
Well, I watched the first game. We've actually done video on their last 6 games, and I've watched 5 of those in depth, and I've got one more, their second game against Minnesota. They were dominant on Saturday night against Minnesota, and then I haven't watched their game yesterday yet. But, again, they're just a great team. Obviously, University of Minnesota's a tremendous program as well. But, they're number 1 in the country for a reason. Great coaching, great players, great culture, play with pace and tempo. And if you get too cute with the puck, they're gonna hurt you. And if you take too many undisciplined penalties trying to stop them, they're going to hurt you. And bottom line for us is we got to be the team that's hurting them by keeping the puck out of their hands and making them play defense and not letting them play their offensive game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Scott, a long layoff for the Broncos, 1 game in about a month. What do you do to stay sharp over that entire period?
Well, we've had a lot of really good practices, and our team's been working really hard on things we can do to prepare for this upcoming series.
Didn't look like any rust at all the last time you guys were in action with the 5-2 win at Bowling Green.
Yeah, we definitely prepared for that game, came back on actually Christmas, and we're practicing in order to get ready for that game, and we came out with a good start and kind of continued it through all 3 periods.
Have you got a chance to look at St. Cloud much other than, know that they're kind of rip-roaring through the league?
Just kind of keeping up with their scores and some of the other teams they've been playing. But, yeah, we're excited for this series. It'll be a great opportunity.
They've got some really good offensive players. Talk about some of the high-powered players they have that you got to defend.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them, and you kind of look across their score sheet, and they're all kind of it looks like they all have about the same amount of goals, and they're all contributing. So, as a D-core, we're just going to have to be solid in order to shut them down.
Going back to the Bowling Green game, Scott, the team came out flying and scored those 4 first-period goals and put away a pretty good team on their home ice because they went on to win the Great Lakes Invitational right after that.
Yeah, we definitely stressed that, even coming back off Christmas break, kind of looking at our first half and realizing that we needed to be better in that first period. So we did, as a team, we came out and we were better.
1 game in 6 weeks, it seems kind of awkward, but it can also be a blessing in disguise, too. You get a lot of rest and heal up the bumps and bruises that you get over the first half of the season.
Yeah, we definitely got our rest in, and we're definitely fired up, though, coming into this next series. So I don't think it could be a better team we're going to be up against.
Playing the number 1 team in the nation, does that add a little to the drama?
We kind of just, I guess, we don't really look at the big picture, right? Just take it game by game. But, yes, of course, that's the fact of the matter, so we're definitely going to come ready.
And, of course, they play on the big ice, the Olympic-size rink. How about the differences in playing on a big sheet like that?
Yeah, there's the extra space, obviously, and just got to make sure that we're moving our feet and taking short shifts in order to have, energy throughout all 3 periods.
Thank you, Scott.
Yep, thank you.